Okay, so I'm going to be answering question 2 of our media evaluation, which is how does our media product represent particular social groups? So our main focus was the teenage social group. There are no adults shown in our film, which is quite an important thing. When looking back on our opening sequence, I found that many of the characters fell into their typical roles of teenagers, which is, drinking, some drug use, a lot of peer pressure. That's like a main theme throughout. Starting off with the protagonist Lara, she was presented as both a meek and shy character. For example, in the scene where she protests along with Judas, the other character's drug use. Although on the flip side, she is also shown to be quite a brave character, as she powers through her emotions and sets off to find out what happened to her friends. And so we wanted to explore that convention between the emotional female role that is usually shown in media products and movies, and also the protagonist being a female, of course, and taking lead role and powering through. The character Lilith was really interesting to explore because she's very different from the characters Lara and Carly. The obvious difference between the two was explored further when the two were shown clashing, as she challenges and pressures Lara to take drugs. Lilith portrays the typical representation of the popular girl, who alludes to promiscuity and an overall bad attitude. We also reflected this in her costume, because whilst Lara wears ripped jeans and a casual band t-shirt, Lilith wears a red dress, which brings across connotations of danger and sexuality. We tried to also highlight this obvious difference between Lara and Lilith through camera angles as well as the people that they were placed next to. So whilst Lara is placed next to Judas, she appears quite uncomfortable, whereas Lilith is placed next to Damien and she makes obvious advances at Damien by leaning near him, confidently taking drugs from him. This was really interesting to explore because we wanted to see how we could present the two different representations of the female gender. Okay, so now we have two characters, the male ones, Damien and Judas. So we wanted to portray the two types of males presented in modern media. So firstly, we have the typical portrayal of the confident and compelling character Damien. We chose to highlight this from the very beginning by showing him casually drinking a bottle of alcohol whilst his age mates cheer him on. We also presented his powerful character trait by the way in which he tells the other characters to be quiet immediately in order to draw attention to himself. This differs from the character Judas, who is the last of the characters to be peer pressured and fails to convince them to stop drinking in fear of getting in trouble. This was intentional as we wanted to showcase varying levels of status presented in the scene and create a sense of confusion for the audience as to how the particular characters met. Whilst Judas portrays an innocent character, Damien is outright shown to be boisterous and an overpowering figure. Okay, finally we have the main character Carly. So she was a really important character to us as she portrays a shy and nervous character who slowly becomes pushed into the background by her peers. However, this was intentional in order to make the audience question her importance, as she sparks the mystery of what happened to her through the clues and necklace that she left behind. Carly represents the girly female presented in media, as she is shown wearing a frilly dress in a bid to catch the attention of Damien. She is shown as a childlike character at first, as she appears innocent. However, we manipulated this representation by highlighting her lack of hesitation to take the drugs